And good afternoon. I am attempting to get the echo out. Okay, hopefully the echo has subsided. I am Marcus Holmes, HR Passion Guy, and I'm excited to come to you, and I hope that you can hear me. Give me some likes in the chat if you are watching us on LinkedIn Live, if you are watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on Twitch TV or on YouTube events. Welcome to Marcus's Mindfulness Room. I wanted to give you just a preview of this mindfulness room that you can have the chance to join me in. We all need moments of mindfulness. And so this is sponsored by Real Virtual Events. And this room was created for a mindfulness event that you could have at your job, at your company, in your organization. We all need more mindfulness. And so I am excited, though I am not able to see across all platforms to see all of the comments. I am excited that you are here. So I'm going to try to just check in on various platforms right now. Okay, let's see. Okay. I have on the headphones so that I can hear to ensure that there is no feedback happening on one of the platforms. But I asked a few people to join me in my mindfulness room, and I'll give you a quick tour around the room. All right, let's see. Just checking our platforms. We are indeed live on Facebook Live. And we are indeed live on the Love and Stuff platform. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, very good. And so we are in a platform where you would have an avatar. So this adds a little bit of the 3D and gamification to some of your meetings and sessions. This room could be fashioned any way for you to be able to have a theater style meeting, a town hall of your employees, a mindfulness room such as I have shared, recognition events such as game night or popcorn Friday. And each person that participates gets an avatar, much like the one that you see here. And the avatar is heard speaking and heard throughout the room, except where you create these auto zones where only certain people can be heard. Valencia Etner, I see you have joined us, but I don't see where your mic is engaged. So I'd like to know if your mic is engaged.
It should be. Let me see.
Okay, I do hear you now. Very good.
Okay.
And so Valencia Etner has joined us. We are live, Valencia Etner on LinkedIn Live, on Facebook Live. And I wanted to give people a preview of the mindfulness room that I had created for a virtual event.
Wow. Cool.
And so Valencia is seated with me, and look at our view. You can design a room to have many different views. And this could be for conference meetings. It could be for your onboarding for brand new employees. If you're tired of just going on Zoom, you have the opportunity to have something more. It could be used for game night. It could also be utilized for mindfulness room. And that's one of the things that I have designed this specific room to use. You will see over as I maneuver Valencia, I'm pressing and holding my mouse in the direction of the area that I want to move. And I'm moving, let's see if it'll let me move away from here. Okay. I'm moving around the room to a different spot. I moved over to this table and I am turning just to give an aerial view of the room with the tree in the middle and the bean bags. Okay, it's giving me. And I wanted to show you the screen where the pointer is, because you can also have your live screen or video to play there. So if you wanted to do training or learning events, you could use this space to show those learning events to others that are participating. Okay.
Okay.
And I am going to come back closer over to where you are. And we're just seated watching the view. So your first blush, Valencia Etner, what are you thinking being in this virtual environment?
The environment is cool. I just would like to know how to move around, and I can't figure it out.
So if you will hold your mouse on the floor, it'll turn blue. Just like I am holding my mouse on the floor and then I moved. You can also move with the arrows. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Get back down over here.
Or if you're on a cell, you probably have to hold your screen to a different. There you go.
I got her.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. And in instructions, you would be given different instructions that will show you different moves that you can do. You can do dance moves also.
Girl, can you sit down? Now I know how to make her sit down.
So if you hold on the one of the blue spots, you'll sit back down. Like I'm sitting in that seat, but I'll move so you won't sit on me.
Right?
Okay. So if you hold, put where the blue spot is and hold on to it, just hold down, it'll sit you down. There you go. And so the maneuvering, of course, there is instructions, right, that would tell you how to move around and navigate the room. Most people would come in and have a seat and sit down. So in our mindfulness moments, because even leaders should make time for mindfulness moments.
Absolutely.
I shared on one of the platforms, one of my dearest cousins, who was the best man in my brother Herbert's wedding, passed away after a brief illness.
Yeah.
And grief is one of those things that, expected or not, can grab you at a place in your life where you do need to stop. And one of the things that I learned in mindfulness, Valencia, is to be present.
Mm-hmm.
Be present in the moment that you are experiencing And don't shy away from the experience of that moment, but sit in it.
Right.
And in the fullness of that moment, reflect on your breathing, reflect on your body language and movement, and then begin to navigate through that however you are led to. For me, one of the mindfulness instructors talked about envisioning a beach ball that is bouncing out to the sea, and focus on every movement of that ball as it goes to the sea. It's big when it's close to you, but it starts to get smaller as it goes out onto the sea. And you can envision that present situation that you're in as being distanced or outside of you once you have experienced it. And then bring into focus whatever it is that you want to experience. And normally for me, it's reflecting on the memories of that loved one if it has to do with grief, so that I can both feel the present moments, but vision and cast forth different moments that are aligned with that person or thing. That takes out some of the sting of that experience, even though I feel the sting of the experience. I'm mindful that I'm in the experience. I'm also mindful that I have the power to create powerful memories around the experience that I can draw on at another time. Looks like we have another guest, cool silence guest. Is your mic enabled, cool silence guest? I don't see your mic. So Valencia, your mic is muted. And maybe you meant to do that. Okay.
While you were talking.
Yeah. But cool silence guest, you might tell us who you are by enabling your mic. And so Valencia, for your moments of mindfulness, what do you do in your moments of mindfulness?
It is one of the things that I struggle with, because there's always something going on. Mm-hmm. So my mindfulness moments need to be on location, kind of. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a water person.
Gotcha.
So if I can get into a space where water is, then I can find, some rejuvenation, some being able to look at things from a perspective that is not, but I have to do, but I have to do, but I have to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I know this isn't water, but what do you think about the snow-capped kind of view?
Oh, it's beautiful, but it would not be my happy place.
Sure.
It would not be my place where, I would be being who I am. I'm trying to figure out how people navigated this foolishness like this. So that takes me to a place that's not, it's mindful about something other than myself, but it doesn't help me with the that kind of woosah.
Gotcha.
That I feel like mindfulness needs to have.
Gotcha. And I'm going to stand up, and I think this must be Jocelyn Smith, who has joined us, another HR professional. I'm looking at the fireplace now, and we're talking with Valencia Etner and I believe Jocelyn Smith, who I think is having a little trouble engaging her mic. She's looking around, so I think she's learning to maneuver.
She's do that. I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the fireplace, but it is surrounded more for winter. But you could put waterfalls there if you wanted for your mindfulness room. Mm-hmm. Instead of bean bags, you could put yoga mats. You can really create a space that would be most tranquil for you or your group of people in a retreat. So maybe where you can't have a retreat in person, and the Zoom doesn't give you quite the effect that you want to have, you could certainly create a space here for that retreat. And again, you can bring your video or share your screen on the screen so that whatever material you want to present from can be on the screen. And I think we have our cool guest that's trying to come back in. Maybe she's trying to fix her volume. Valencia, you're a pastor and counselor for people. When people lose loved ones, what do you advise to them about going through that process?
First thing I try to advise them is to grieve well. And what grieve well means is to not try to dismiss what you're feeling. To go through the process of feeling. Mm-hmm. Often people mask their grief, and it manifests itself in a lot of different ways. It manifests itself as manic kind of behavior, mm-hmm. because they want everyone to feel like they're okay, and it's only in those deep recesses of their mind and at night, and when they're alone, that grief griefs them. Mm-hmm. So I often tell people grieve well. Grieve in a way where you own your feelings, mm-hmm. where you own them. Mm-hmm. Grieve in a way where you not only own your feelings, but you own your right to have them. Mm-hmm. So that you can make sure that people respect your right to have them. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's good advice. It looks like Jocelyn is trying to join us again. Jocelyn, I see where you're typing in the chat, but I don't see where if you're on a cell phone, you got to make sure that your mic is enabled. So it should allow you to enable your mic, make sure it's not muted, so that you can participate and give me some feedback as you've joined Marcus's mindfulness room. So Valencia, one of the things that I also, when I first went to Work Human, which is a conference that happens used to happen every year. I don't know what will happen now these days, but it'll be online, I'm sure. The first year I went, the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, was the keynote speaker. And that was one of the things that really attracted me to wanting to go. Of course, they had a plethora of tracts and workshops about bringing your authentic self more to your work and finding deeper meaning in doing that. I also learned about mindfulness more than I had before through a former monk whose name is Pandit Dasa, and I hope Pandit joins us or sees this, because I'm trying to get him to come to the mindfulness room and show us some things. But I learned about mindfulness, and we talked about breathing. And we talked about a breathing exercise that I also do in some meetings still today. If some of my colleagues see this, they will know. And it's kind of the precursor or prerequisite before you go into your meditation or prayer, to just cleanse your mind, clear your mind. I never really thought of breathing as clearing your mind. Of course, from singing, I always thought of it as the preparation, the foundation, the fulcrum, of good singing. But I never thought of it as cleansing your mind. And really, it is that deep inhalation that you count up to 12 with a deep inhalation, and you feel all of your extremities once you are fully on that inhalation, and then you exhale until you exhaust all of that air, or as much of it as you can, feeling again your extremities, and even sometimes shaking them, your legs, your arms, feeling what those feel. Do they feel cold? Do they feel warm? Do they feel all of those feelings, until you continue that breathing until you don't feel any difference in your hands than you do your feet or any other part. And it is a cleansing thing to do when you are upset, or after road rage, during grief. after a heated discussion, or if you're anticipating going into an adversarial or heated discussion, it really clears your mind and prepares you for the next thing to do. So I'm hoping Jocelyn will get her mic happening, but will you join me in just a brief exercise, Valencia?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to do that. Sounds like someone is joining.
Your cuz.
Okay, thank you, Jocelyn. I'm glad you got maybe you dialed in?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And if with the device that you have joined Marcus's mindfulness room. Uh-oh. Oh, so we lost you because I was going to tell you how to stand up, but I'm going to stand up.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted you to do the mindfulness exercise with us. And so we're going to breathe in to the count of 12.
Okay.
We're going to breathe into the count of 12 starting now. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold and feel your extremities. Whatever, hands, feet, ears, nose, whatever you can feel. While you're holding your breath until you can feel them all. Okay, until you can identify them all as if you were touching them. And once you've identified them all, start to release that breath slowly. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let the rest of it out. Loosen your body. We're going to do it again, up to 12. And this time again, we want to get to those extremities more quickly and feel more. Can you feel whether or not your hands have lotion on them? Can you feel whether or not your nose is itching? Can you feel whether or not your ears are itching? Whatever small nuances or things you could feel, try to feel those during the hold. And let's go up, breathing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Feel your fingers. Feel the coarseness of your fingers, or smoothness, or dryness, or moisture. Feel your nose sitting on your face. Sometimes it's a little more difficult to feel your nose, but feel your nose. Okay. Feel your feet and your toes and your ears. Okay, let's go back down. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it all out. We're going to do one more. And we're going up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Hold it. Feel them as one. Feel them as one. Feel them as one. Feel them as one. And going down. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let it all out. And typically at this point, I am going into a meditation or into prayer or into praise and worship for me. I might bring in music at this point and just reflect. Like Valencia says, she would do this stationed at the water. Some of you may do it while water is running, if water is your thing, or you may also do it if the sky caps work for you, or whatever it is that works for you. And go into your meditation, your affirmations, and you will have a clearer mind. Now, we only did a couple of these. I say continue to do it and work at the hold, because you're trying to unify your sense of feel and that everything feels the same. You're kind of cleansing your thought of feel in those moments so that everything feels the same, so that you go into the next activity as clearly as you can. You might test your clarity by writing something down at the beginning of this exercise and reading it a sentence or two, and doing this exercise with your eyes closed, and see if when you're finished, you can remember those sentences without looking. Or if you reviewed your calendar before, see if you could call items to your memory without looking, and see if it's any clearer to you. And that would be your next activity. For me, my next activity would be a meditation or reflection. And in this current context, it's a meditation and reflection on the life of my dear cousin, Herman Claiborne. So it helps me to focus that although I was not expecting his departure, that I am able to reflect on the great things of his life, even in the midst of feeling sadness, darkness, and pain. He is the last of his siblings, of 3 siblings. And so it is a part of our generation that's gone from his family. And so this helps to prepare me for whatever the next activity is. And for me, again, it's reflection. It's my meditation. It's the things I'm going to think on, good things and lovely things and pure things about the relationship I had with him and how he was connected and interwoven in the fabric of our family. For you, it could be preparing for a meeting. For Valencia, it could be handling parishioner concerns or handling concerns of individuals within her community that she serves. It could be handling relationships. It could be prayer. And as I said, it could be praise and worship. Whatever it is, the cleansing is to help you get to a oneness before you proceed forward. So Valencia, tell me, how are you thinking or feeling after this small exercise?
Didn't realize how much I needed to relax.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it took me to a place of, and sometimes we don't realize how much we don't take full breaths all day.
Yeah.
Just going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jocelyn, can you hear? Jocelyn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And so, were you participating in the exercise, or were you just kind of catching up?
I was catching up, but I have to agree. Sometimes we don't take the time. We're so busy in our day to day and hustling, and everybody's pulling on us 3 and 4 different directions. We don't take the time to breathe, and sometimes I escape to the bathroom and just have a woosah moment. Just have to sit there and just let my mind just go.
Yeah.
To catch my breath, to prepare myself for the next moment.
Yeah.
And stuff like this is very helpful and needful.
Yeah. And I find, Jocelyn and Valencia, if I do more than 5 minutes, I can get lost. I've never really done between 5 and 10 minutes. I either do about 5 or I end up doing 15 or 20 because you get lost in what you were saying, Valencia. You just don't really realize until you're in it how you don't take the time out to do it. And then you get in that moment and you could get lost into that moment, which is
You don't want to stop.
you don't want to stop. Yeah.
Yep.
I would keep going and keep going and keep going. And then it makes for a much more deep meditation and a deeper prayer moment for me when I'm reflecting in that way, instead of just going into meditation or just going into yoga or just going into prayer. If you take that 5 minutes, it's a great habit stacker. So if you got something that really requires you to have concentration, I'd say do this before that and stack this as a habit on that. And then it helps to build you good sequences of habits for things, especially complicated, complex, for difficult things. And sometimes the difficult things are the things that we really don't want to do, right? But we have to do for some reason or another. So I'm excited to be in a partnership of sorts with Real Virtual Events, who created this room for me. It's a mindfulness room, and I'm going to be inviting more mindfulness professionals to lead the room as well, but inviting people to just come and have seats. And Valencia's given us some good feedback. I think one side will be the snowcaps, Valencia, and the other side, I'm going to turn it around for the viewers. The other side we will do, we'll make it waterfalls, because we could do that.
Okay.
So that, you know, you could have either side of the room. And then there are bean bags throughout. And normally where you see the blue squares, what we activate are called audio zones. So only the people seated in those audio zones could hear the conversations in those audio zones. But everybody can hear the conversation overall. So even if there's a speaker speaking, you could be having a different conversation inside the audio zone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool, Marcus. I am just blown away by this.
Well, we hope that many employers and organizations would be interested in using it. And that's part of the partnership that I have with Real Virtual Events, is to expose this platform for people who want to use it for meetings and retreats, for learning and development, for orientations and onboarding, and for mindfulness. And mindfulness is one of my favorites because you can create it to be intimate enough that people could, enjoy. 10 or 20 people could be in this room in various seats or yoga mats or however we design it, so that they could every morning or once a week or twice a month come in and to a session for mindfulness.
Josh is back.
Yes, she is. I think she dialed in and then she got her avatar going, which, as you saw coming in,
I'm just being nosy. I'm looking around.
That's good.
That's how you get your hand to move around like you want.
So
I'm just checking it all out. I think this is just awesome.
Yes. So if you hold your mouse or finger on a spot on the floor, it'll turn blue, and then it'll move you, it'll advance you there. Now your arrows can move you around so that you can see different views. But if you want to advance throughout, you just hold a spot until it turns blue, and then it'll move you there.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. And I would have sent you a list. Katina Reed Bland, thank you. She's saying sweet. I would send you a list of different activities you can do, because there are dances. We can have music in here and you can do different dance moves, and high fives, handshakes, and hugs you can also do in here as well. So, but I wanted to bring your attention to the video screen, because I could also share that screen and share a PowerPoint presentation or a video that I have open on my computer, so that if I wanted you to watch a portion of a video to instruct you or to give you information, we could do that as well. And it could also be created theater style. So you could do a town hall meeting in your organization, or business meeting, church meeting, community meeting. All of those are opportunities as well.
Very nice.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this is Marcus's Mindful Room. It's 12:36, and I am here with Valencia Etner from Houston, the Houston, Texas area, and Jocelyn Smith from Indiana, a pastor and a human resources professional. And I wanted to just bring a couple folks in for a small mindfulness room activity that I thought would be good to showcase for real virtual events. And so if anyone across any platform is interested, you can certainly inbox me on any platform. And again, I'm just going to rotate so that you can see the full scope of the room. And it could be designed differently. Typically, on one of the walls, at least one, because you could have more than one video screen, but you have a video screen in case you want to share other content in the room. And this one, because it was a mindfulness room, I thought some stark whites would be good. And of course, the fireplace would be good. And the bean bags, which could be a yoga mat as well. So just some different opportunities for you to have individual spaces as well as collective spaces. And it's just a little.
I'm going to have to go down a meeting.
Thank you so much.
Which was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Now I don't know how to get out.
So at the
I was gonna say me neither.
Yeah, so you're gonna hit the hang up button at the bottom, and then you can just close out this browser.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the invite. I hope I see it in the future because this is nice.
Yes, I hope so too. I hope that you will go back and talk to your organization and talk to them about possible opportunities.
I sure will.
Okay.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thank you, Jocelyn, for coming. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
And so there are a few folks still on LinkedIn watching, and I will maybe drop this link in the comments. That way that if you wanted to join me, you could, and take a quick look at it. Let's do that really quickly. We're at 12:38, and we're just showing you Marcus's mindfulness room. And I would love to show you, as I've shared with Valencia Etner, who's a pastor out of Texas, and with a human resources professional, Jocelyn Smith from Indiana. I showed them, shared with them one of the mindfulness exercises that I learned from Pandit Dasa in part at the Work Human Conference several years ago. I still use it today, and I'm using it especially today as I seek to make use of mindfulness as I walk through a grief moment. And so I dropped the link in the comments. I'm going to just check across the other platforms. I know that there are some other folks that were watching with us. Thank you, folks on YouTube events. I appreciate it. And I will drop the comments, the link there. So Katina Bland, if you are Reed Bland, if you're still here, if you click that link, it's going to take you to open a browser for you to join us, and you create an avatar. And that avatar will allow you access to this room. And I'd love for you to come in and try a mindfulness moment. And anybody else that might click that link to join me for a moment. And of course, I will leave it up for a few more moments, because eventually I will take the link down after the room is closed. Okay. Let me know if you're going to join. Just give me a heart or a like. I see I have 2 people watching. I'd love to have you. Just as you're seeing my avatar on the screen, I won't see your face, so you don't have to be dressed. So that's different than Zoom, right? You won't have a screen where you have to be dressed or you have to show your face. but you also don't have to just have a blank screen where people, this is a chance to get you to be on screen talking, and people won't feel like you're not present, even though, it's you're talking and moving behind the avatar. Okay. And so I hope that you will join me, even if you don't join me online, that you will join me in a few moments of mindfulness. And so I'm going to leave the link up for another moment, but then I'm going to delete it because it's for use for this moment only. Okay. So it's 12:42 and you're in Marcus's mindfulness room via real virtual live events that I am forging a great partnership with. And if you are interested in joining me on it, you can click that link. But I'd like to take you through a mindfulness moment, just like I did the others that were present a moment ago. Corey Mildred King, Laverne Thompson, Deborah K. Hodges. Thank you all for joining on the Facebook platform. And so I'm on a different platform today, and there is a mindfulness room. It's Marcus's mindfulness room and real virtual events. A fantastic company designed this space for mindfulness moments. And really, thinking of mindfulness just very broadly, think of it as sitting in your reality, reflecting on that reality, reviewing that reality, recognizing that reality, and then moving forward in the power of what you've gleaned from that reality. Now, some of your realities, like mine today, may not be the most positive. I had a dear cousin to pass away after a very brief illness yesterday. And so I am moving through a grief space yet once again. I say yet once again because I've written a book, The Gratefulness Journey Every Day, which is largely sharing information about my grief journey through several losses. And so, in my context of being mindful, I'm sitting in the reality that someone that I love, adored, is no longer in the earth school. And I don't compress that. I don't suppress that. I experience it sitting in the moment and become aware. I recognize how that feels. Where is the pain? Where is the hurt? How does that feel? And I began to breathe. And my breathing in, my inhalations are on a count of 12. And as I'm breathing in, I'm becoming aware of my extremities and what they feel like. And as I exhale, I'm seeking to feel them all as one. And I continue doing that until those things feel all as one. And then I start to reflect and consider my present circumstances and situation. And what does that feel like? What does my pain feel like? And how is that pain in my hands? Can I feel it in my feet? Do I feel it in my ears? Do I feel it in my nose? Can I command those as one so that I can align them with the powerful memories of the goodness of my experience with my cousin who's no longer here? And how can I use those to walk as measured as possible through this grief journey so it won't be erratic, so they won't be all over the place? And you have the right to be erratic and all over the place when you've lost someone that you love. You also can choose to be mindful in the moment, feeling that uncertainty, feeling that those emotions that make you feel erratic, feeling those, but breathing through them to almost synthesize them, to use them as an alignment for more powerful opportunities and memories moving forward. And so this mindfulness room was created to hold mindfulness sessions, and mindfulness professionals can do this online since you won't be in person necessarily, maybe for a little bit more. And maybe because we've opened a global stage because of the pandemic, that people could use this mindfulness room or rooms like this to be able to hold mindfulness sessions. Leaders especially need mindfulness, but everybody needs mindfulness to bring the center of yourself forward, all that you are, the collective of your experiences and circumstances, forward in a measured way that will power your life and the lives of those around you. Thank you for joining. And if you'd like more information on Marcus's mindfulness room or on setting up your own rooms for mindfulness, for onboarding, for recognition events, for town halls, for learning experiences, inbox me at Marcus R. Homes or fill out a contact form at hrpassionllc.com or on any of the platforms, on Facebook for Marcus R. Homes or the Love and Stuff page, on Twitch TV and YouTube events as HR Passion Guy. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I hope that this has been useful and helpful for you.